Let's talk about the last year.
Okay.
How was the last year for the kicker? Any logistical issues? Any cash finance issues? How did we handle the last year, and how we are handling right now?
Mhm. Well, at the start, like in March, we thought this is going to be like 2008, 2009 recession.
Okay, yeah. Everybody thought, actually. Everybody thought
Yeah.
it's gonna not recover like for next
And
5 years.
so, yeah, because you think, oh, it's just going to be terrible.
Yeah.
And because those years were terrible.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of finance problems. And in those years, actually, our bank said, you can't borrow any more money.
Mhm.
They didn't ask for the money back on a revolving loan, but they said you can't expand it any. And we owed money, a lot of money. Our two biggest customers went bankrupt, Chrysler and Circuit City. And so we were short of cash. We had a lot of inventory,
Mm-hmm.
but no cash to pay our bills. And so thank goodness our Chinese vendors, we visited with them personally, asked them for more extended terms to pay.
Yeah.
They all gave it to us. And so in effect, they became our bank.
Yeah.
And
Basically.
and so that's how we made it through. And then eventually we were able to pay them back, and with interest too. We paid them interest. And so, but it was tough, very difficult. So we immediately, in March of last year, we immediately cut our sales forecast in half. And then after about 2 weeks, our sales started, at first our sales dropped. We cut our forecast in half, and then they started going up. And then we got a big order from one of our customers, and he called it the pandemic sales order. And it was like almost $400,000, one order. And we went, oh. And so then we started getting all these orders in. And so immediately we went back to our suppliers and said, well, stop.
Yeah.
We need more, not less. So it just went, just flipped.
Okay.
And so then we started ordering more and more and more and more and more. Then our sales just started going up. So we ended up with over a 40% increase in sales last year. And that's including 3 bad months, January, February, March, but then it just went like this. And so that created the best year in our history.
Last year?
Last year, best year by far, in our history. And because people had money and they had stimulus checks.
Yeah, that helped a lot, everybody.
And if they weren't working, they had unemployment benefits. So people are staying home and they want to do something.
Exactly.
They're working on their cars. They're also working on their houses. They're doing home projects. All these industries began to boom.
Yeah.
And ours did too. And so so we actually had to have our vendors, primary vendors in China, bring back these workers. They had just
Yeah.
laid some off, said, no, have them come back. And so we actually paid them more, helped them pay the workers a bonus if they would stay through the year until Chinese New Year. Because in February, end of February is Chinese New Year. Everybody goes home for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So production stops. And if you don't have all your goods for the summer before that period, you're going to be behind for almost the rest of the year. So we paid them extra to keep working, and hiring more people all the way through the winter up until Chinese New Year. And so we were able to more or less keep up with the increased sales and have a big inventory this year. This year's up 100% from last year, over 100% already for the first 3 months, which were slow, but
The sales has been doubled. Is that what you're
yeah,
saying?
from the first 3 months of last year. The first quarter was up 100%. Now it's up a little more than that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still going, but there was another stimulus check.
Yeah.
So we know it's not gonna last forever. But if you have the goods to sell, you can make good money. If you don't,
Yeah.
We can't sell anything. And now there's a shortage of everything because of this boom in demand. Then the suppliers had kind of geared down because of COVID. They're trying to gear back up. So everybody's behind. And so there's more demand than there is supply. So the prices are going up.
Yeah, because it never happened before in last 2008.
Yeah.
It's this time when things are gearing up real quick.
Yeah.
So everybody's no idea what to do.
Well, and we don't know, nobody knows how long it will last. Is it kind of temporary? But we're having to order our products up to 6 months or almost a year ahead of time on some products. So we're having to try to forecast way out here because if we don't order it now, we won't have it. And so we're juggling, trying to see into the future, for our forecasting, because all of your ordering, your whole supply chain is dependent upon one number, and that's what you forecast. Because if you forecast right, then you order to meet the forecast. So your forecast is the crystal ball, what's going to happen 3 months out, 6 months out. Because if you don't do that, you won't have any product to sell. But if you shoot too high, you'll have too much product and you may run out of money. So it's a balancing act. But right now it's selling so fast that we don't have a need for hardly almost no money because it's turning so fast, just turning. So it's always a challenge.
It is. I'm kind of going back again, making a loop. So, and we will come back. More interesting question. So, if not kicker, what you would have done? I mean, you told you would be a sociologist. Is that? You would have found another business.
I had no plan B.
No plan. Oh, no plan B.
No plan B.
Going for finishing up the degree and sociologist. No plan B.
No, I was done with that. Yeah, only plan A. That was it.
Right, and focus.
Well, and probably, I think, like what I believed was that I felt like my prayer had been, where do I go? What do I do? And I got this, and I got this business. And so when it gets tough, you always think, well, maybe I'll do something else, or maybe I'll sell it and go do something else. And then the question was always, so what? What are you going to do? And I'd have to circle back and say, well, I felt like God helped me get into this business. And so so I don't have another plan, so I'll stay. I went through that exercise a lot of times, especially when you have no money, you have bills due, it's tough. I go, well, I'll just get out. And then, but I didn't have no plan B, so I stayed with it. And then as time went on, we survived. And so I think with God's help, we survived, and we made it.